policy is identical. This means, in accordance with what you just told us all, is you would never vote for or support Donald J. Trump.
I do live in Florida, and I think it's been taken to an extreme in Florida, but I will say that I think that Trump and Vance, though neither necessarily my favorite, I think that they do hold a higher favor of kind of taking the law down a bit, and keeping that in place as, like, compared to Kamala's.
What is Trump's policy for
So
late-term abortions? We'll just clear this up. We'll clear the air.
limit on it.
What is Trump's policy for late-term abortions?
As far as I knew, he wanted to get rid of them and was working on trying to make that happen.
No. Donald Trump made it explicitly clear that he will not sign any federal ban for abortions into law. He even got mad at J.D. Vance for saying that he would, okay? Donald Trump supports access to late-term abortions being determined by the states, okay?
Okay.
Kamala Harris supports Roe. After Roe, after viability under Roe, access to abortion, right, is determined by the states. Same policy as Trump. You said Kamala Harris was pro late-term abortion because of her policy. Well, you now also say that Donald Trump is pro late-term abortion because of his policy.
Okay. I mean, in my
Well,
opinion, he
are
was
you
trying to
wrong?
get it banned. So I understand what you're
Trinity,
saying.
where does that opinion come from? He said that where's that opinion coming? Because that opinion's not coming from Trump. Where's that opinion coming from?
I mean, that's what I was like told and what I had remembered reading, etc. But then that's on me, and then I was misinformed. So,
Could you
like,
please give me any source or evidence to demonstrate that he supports even a late-term abortion ban? He's made it incredibly clear that he thinks all access to abortion should be determined by the state. Why do you think that just Trinity left? We're going to move on to the next guest. She was obviously just lying to us. We got Bobby Hart loading up in Holland. Hey, Holland, thank you for the $25 donation on Venmo. Holland says, finally got a Dean smile. And she got another one for the $25 donation. I want to see at least 250 big W's for Holland down below in that chat, as well as Jesse with $1. Thank you guys so much. Also, yeah, if you do want to donate to me on Venmo or PayPal, please use the link in my bio. However, if you do just type this in, please double check your spelling. There's a lot of fake scammer accounts out there that like scam 30 or 40 people a day. So please double check the spelling on that or use the link in the bio. Also, for the 6.3 thousand people in the stream, everybody right now double tap. Let's get up to 750,000 likes and 1,000 shares. Spam that chat. Let's get this live sending out so we can get some more Trump supporters in here to debate. Hello, Bobby. Did you
What's
vote
up, my
for
friend?
Dapey Donald?
Yes, I did.
You did. Why'd you do that? The worst presidential candidate of your life.
Well, I'm going to give you the answers that you're expecting. But can we talk about tariffs? Because I saw your video on tariffs, and it'd be cool if we could talk about the tariff situation.
What do you want to talk about?
We both know, well, I don't know if you know, that the tariff was, a leverage tool, right? You agree?
No, I actually don't.
All right, so let me ask you this. Let's say that the tariff went into place, right? You know that Canada's...
You know that Donald Trump even clarified on that? So he had somebody ask him at a press conference while he was in the Oval Office.
You just cut me off once.
I
haven't finished what I was saying. I'm trying to be respectful. All right, let's be cool, because you're cool.
I know. I'm also trying to be respectful. I understand that cutting people off is typically disrespectful, and I apologize for that. But what I just wanted to say there was Donald Trump did say to a news reporter in the Oval Office that had asked him if this was for leverage or purely economic reasons. He told the news reporter that is for purely economic reasons.
Right. So, when you're in it's considered a trade war. We could both agree on that, right? So when you're
they start trade wars.
Well, yeah, starting trade. It's eventually it could turn into a trade war, but we know it's trade war. You're not going to tell the opponent what your plan is, so that right there gets debunked. So, anyways, that Canada, the retaliatory tariffs, they said they're going to do 100%, and Mexico said 50%, right?
Did you just say that you think it's a good idea for Trump to not just try to talk to other countries to see if they could diplomatically work out what they want, and instead he should lie about the tariffs, say that they're for purely economic reasons,
Well,
crash his own economy and cripple theirs, and then ask for what he wants?
So I'll tell you why he has
Wait,
the
no,
leverage.
that's not
I'm
what I
answering the
said.
question.
No,
I'm
no,
answering
you're
the
not
question.
you're not answering the question. You misheard me because the answer to my question couldn't possibly begin with "I tell you why." Like once again, I'm just clarifying on what you just told me. So I pointed out that at a news conference, Donald Trump said that
Yeah.
this was purely for economic reasons, and then your response to that was, "Well, you never tell your opponent what your plan is, therefore that's debunked." So I just want to clarify. What you're saying is that Donald Trump's plan was to try to get something from Canada. And instead of Donald Trump trying to work that out with Canada diplomatically speaking, he instead said that we can't tell Canada what we want from them. In fact, we shouldn't tell Canada what we want from them. And we should just impose these tariffs under the guise of acting for economic reasons, wait for them to cripple our country and theirs, and then ask them. So you're saying to take the path of most resistance?
Right. So what's the question in what you just said? Because I'll answer it and then I'll just
That
continue.
you think that that the president should take the path of most resistance that will hurt the most people to get what he wants.
So I'm not going to argue the fact that what he's doing is bullying. He's bullying into getting what he wants. I'm not going to argue that because that's what's going on. I can't.
Even if he could get what he wants without bullying and crippling
Well-
economies, he should bully and cripple economies. He should
So-
take the path of most resistance.
So you think that he could have gotten the 10,000 extra soldiers on the southern border and the F, like I don't know if I could say it, the F word.
How could have gotten something that he already had? Canada's been deploying 10,000 troops to the southern border since
No,
2021.
Mexico added 10,000 more.
Wait, sorry. Yeah, I meant to say Mexico. Mexico has been deploying 10,000 troops to the southern border since 2021.
Yeah, and everyone's saying they were already there in the comments. Yes, they were there, but they're adding 10,000 more. I'm not saying they weren't there at all, and he just magically made this happen. They were there. We all know that. There's literally statistics that show that there were soldiers there. They're adding more. And
I don't believe that. The reason I don't believe that is because of the deal that he made with Canada. Because I think that you'd have, I know, but you'd have plausible reason to assume if maybe just Mexico announced that, then like maybe they're going to be adding another 10,000.
They did.
But because Canada did the same thing as Mexico, they just announced a plan that they already had. That just gives us reason to believe that this is nothing new and they're just re-announcing what they've already done. Like, for instance, in the same way Mexico said, we're going to add 10,000 troops to the border, like Canada said, well, we're going to spend $1.3 billion on additional border provisions. However, Canada already spent $1.3 billion on additional border provisions. That passed December 17th. So the logical explanation for Mexico is to assume that it's the same thing, since they had also passed a prior plan with the same addendums.
Dean, I know that the plan was there. I know it was there. That I looked up the statistics before. In I don't know if it's 2022 or 2023, there was 32,000 soldiers in the same criteria that with this 10,000 more. They were already there. There's 32,000. They're adding 10,000 more. So I'm not saying because of the tariffs, this whole entire thing of adding soldiers to the southern border happened because of the tariffs. That never happened. But I'm not saying it happened because of that. They're adding to it. And that's why this is going to keep on going. That's why they have 30 days to...
I already gave you my refutation, but let's just assume that you're right. So you're saying
Right
that they've
about
been
what?
able to
Hold on,
broker
right
a
about
deal
what?
to add an additional 10,000 troops to the southern border. So
You're saying that's wrong?
Okay, just allow me. Yes, I am, and I already gave you my
sorry for cutting you
refutation.
off.
But
Continue.
assuming that you're correct, you're saying that Mexico's now brokered a deal with Trump to add an additional 10,000 troops to the southern border, the same way Mexico brokered a deal with Biden to add an additional 10,000 troops to the border. I have a question. Did Biden have to impose tariffs that crippled our economy and Mexico's to get those 10,000 troops?
No, but what they
So then why did Trump?
Because immigration was a problem with Biden, and me and you both know that it was a problem. Illegal immigration.
Wait. I have a question. So is Donald Trump saying that it's still a problem?
It's not. It's certainly not fixed. It's not fixed. This is a work in
So it's
progress.
still a problem. So
It's a work in
Biden,
progress.
exactly my point. So if Biden can get 10,000 troops without tariffs, why couldn't Trump? Are you saying that Biden is better at negotiating with other countries than Trump?
So how many troops did Biden get on the southern border?
10,000. 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, 10,000.
In his 4-year term, he only got 10,000.
No, that was in 2021. It was a one-time deal, the same type of deal that you're saying that Donald Trump is making now. Answer my question because you're not addressing it.
So
I'm
what's
going
the
to ask you
question?
one more time because you want to avoid it because you know that I'm right. So both Biden and Trump were able to negotiate a deal with Mexico to get an additional 10,000 troops to the southern border. Yes?
I honestly don't know if I don't know the statistics with Biden's with how many.
I
troops he
told you
had.
what they are. You could fact check them on me. So
So
assuming I'm
he got.
telling the truth, is what I said correct?
So let me just clarify. He got
Oh,
10,000.
sorry. He got 15,000. I'm sorry.
So in 4 years, he got 15,000 troops.
It was a one-time deal made in 2021, the same way this is a
Okay.
one-time deal made in 2025. Now, answer my goddamn
Okay.
question.
Now, what's the question? Don't get aggravated
so,
at me,
so,
little boy. Don't
no,
get
I'm
aggravated.
getting. I'm the reason I'm getting aggravated at you, Republican, is because you're avoiding answering my
Okay, what's the
questions
question? I'll
because you
answer
know
right
that
now.
you're gonna get fucking dunked on if you're honest.
Okay, don't get
so
mad.
be
No reason to
honest.
get mad.
No. I'm not being mad. I'm being honest. So just be honest, okay? Let
What?
yourself go.
What's
Let
the question?
yourself get dunked on. It is going to help us all learn more about the world around us. So I want to make it clear
All right.
that both Biden and Trump were able to broker deals to have Mexico deploy 10,000 in the case of Trump, 15,000 in the case of Biden, extra troops to the southern border, correct?
Right.
Biden didn't have to use tariffs that crippled our economy
Okay.
and theirs to achieve this goal, but
Okay.
Trump did. Does this
Okay.
mean that Biden is better at negotiating than Trump is?
Yeah, I mean, if it's all subjective, I don't really say if you take in one situation, and I know what you're doing, trying to manipulate the conversation. You went to school for debating. That's not my expertise, but I like to continue on what happened, not with Biden, because we both know that this is a work in progress to fix the border, right? Can we agree that it's a problem?
Yeah, no, it's been a problem for all of American history, and the last
Yeah.
people that are going to solve it is going to be MAGA. But
All right,
so I
so
just want to
the way-
clarify. So this talking point of like 10,000 extra troops to the border, it's actually a reason why we shouldn't support Trump because he's a bad negotiator.
Okay. So, and in Canada, they had the. Am I allowed to say the drug, the F word? Because I
No,
in
no,
TikTok.
no,
All
you're
right.
not.
So I'll just say
check
F.
yourself there.
I'll say F. Okay, the F drug. They have the Cesar now, right? In Canada, that's what they did recently, right?
They did in December, yeah.
Okay. So even if this was a 1%, if this was 1% better than what it was, right? That's still an
It
increase.
wasn't different at all.
No, I'm saying this Canada added the F drug Cesar to their border, and Mexico added 10,000 more troops,
Oh,
right?
wait. So Canada didn't do this because of Trump's tariffs, though.
Oh, what? So what was this whole entire retaliation tariff with 100% in Mexico? I mean, 100% in Canada, and Mexico said 50%.
I'm confused. What you're saying? That was a
Canada's
retaliatory plan against Trump's tariffs.
Yeah,
How does
they
this
said-
relate to Canada's border plan?
So if the tariffs went through, right? You're pretty smart. You're a smart kid. You know that it would affect Canada and Mexico a lot worse than it would affect us if the tariffs went
Obviously.
through. It would affect all of us.
Obviously, how does this relate to what I said about the fact that Canadians' plan for the northern border was passed through their Congress in December before Donald Trump implemented an executive order to impose tariffs on them?
So let's just, like you said earlier, let's say I'm right, and before we were talking,
Why would
let's
we
say you're
say
right.
Why?
No,
why-
before you
wait,
said hypothetically, if I'm right.
It's not. Wait, it's not a hypothetical.
No, before
This is
before
a-
you said let's say you're right. Remember, you didn't remember saying that. We were doing it for argument's
Yeah, but the
sake.
difference is you
Right.
wouldn't be able to give me a source. I could give you a source.
I'll give you a source too. So let's say you're right about this, and it happened prior, right? You're saying what, December 7th? That's like the date everyone's
December
saying.
17th.
Okay, 17th. So December 17th, let's say that happened, right? So when Trump got into office, right, up until now, right, they didn't do anything, is what you're saying? They haven't changed anything on the border?
Precisely.
So why didn't Trump let the tariff go through to Canada?
Because he didn't let the tariff go through because of how much it would hurt our own country and be bad for his approval rating.
So do you think Canada would let him push the tariff through? Or they would negotiate so it doesn't happen?
Yeah,
because it would
Canada
affect
would've
them
let
so
him.
poorly. Oh, so do you know how much their GDP would be affected if the tariff went to Canada?
Yeah, it would have hurt them a lot.
Yeah, and even with the retaliatory tariff, it would still affect them worse than us. It would go down like
Indeed.
2.5 points. And
But Canada didn't do anything for Trump.
wait, say that again.
Canada didn't do anything for Trump. Trump backed down.
Right. So so they didn't do anything, is what you're saying, right?
I am
Even
saying
though,
that, yeah.
so I'm saying, for argument's sake,
What,
that
can you
let's say
tell me what Canada did for him?
the drug Cesar on the border.
No, that happened in December. Once again, you're wrong.
So I'm telling you, for argument's sake, you're right. Let's say that it
Okay,
it didn't happen.
so if I'm right, what did Canada do to get Trump to back down?
You tell me.
Nothing. Trump bowed the knee because his
So then
plan
why
was shit.
didn't he put the tariff through?
Yeah, because of how much it was going to hurt and cripple the American people.
No, it would barely affect us. Canada
Oh
would be
no, not
the
true at all.
GDP in Canada would be.
No,
I have a source. I have a source.
Wait. Two things could be true at once. It can affect Canada more than us, but also still really affect us.
It
What
can
percentage
affect
of our
us.
oil and gas? One moment. What percentage of our oil and gas imports come from Canada?
I don't know the exact number, but I know it's a high percentage.
It's 70%. So experts would have estimated that the proposed tariffs on Canadian oil and gas would increase the price of your gasoline from anywhere from 30 to 70 cents per gallon. So the issue
Right.
here is although it would have hurt Canada more than us, because obviously our economy is significantly bigger than theirs,
Right.
it is the case that this would have had bad effects on America. So
Right, I'm not arguing
right,
that.
not only did the tariffs crash the U.S. stock market, destroy tech stocks and crypto stocks
Well, that's gonna happen. We
before
know
they
that.
were implemented, it would have also significantly increased the cost of a lot of bare necessities to live, including but not limited to gas and oil for what we put in our cars, new lumber for construction, pharmaceuticals, avocados, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My point is that Donald Trump ended up bowing the knee because of the low approval ratings of said tariffs, because of the retaliatory plan announced against us, and because of the inflationary effects that it would have had on our economy. And we know that is the reason because Donald Trump bowed the knee, because Canada held the line strong, didn't do anything for him, apart from put out a tweet that has led a lot of Republicans to be very confused.
Right. So let me ask you a question. What was his purpose of doing the tariff on Canada? Why did he want to do it in the first place?
Man, I'm not inside of Trump's head. No one.
Well,
can
what do
know
you
that.
think? What's your opinion? What do you think? Why do you think he did it?
To grow the manufacturing sect in America, and that's kind of intertwined with a lack of economic insight and knowledge.
Well,
Dude,
well,
you're
we
really
all know-
boring me. Is this guest like
Well, you're
confusing
getting
the shit?
questioned, and you're having.
Is this guy like boring the shit and confusing the shit out of anybody else in the chat? Go for it.
I'm the first guest you had that knows what they're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. You
Okay,
said that
I just
Canada
asked
announced
you-
a new. Well, 1 second. I'm still talking. You don't know what you're talking about. You said that Canada announced a new plan that they were going to implement for Trump. You had no fucking clue that they already passed that plan and signed it into law in December.
And,
You don't know
and
what you're
for,
fucking talking about.
for argument's sake, I'm saying you're right. I'm not arguing based on.
Wait.
they
For
did do
argument's sake, I'm saying that if I'm right, then you don't know what you're talking about.
it. But I'm saying you for argument's sake, you're right on that point.
And for argument's sake, if I'm right, you
And
don't
we're
know what the fuck
arguing-
you're talking about.
And we're arguing on that.
Wait.
premise.
If I'm right, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because like you said it was a new plan. Wait. So how can you say that it was a new plan, yet it was actually an old plan, while you also know what you're talking about?
Because the answer to that question is you can answer for me. Why did he put the tariffs in the first place?
You're not responding to
Give
what
me
I'm
an
saying.
answer.
I'm specifically talking about your statement where you said that you know what you're talking about. Buddy, you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
You
okay,
said something that was false about the plan announced from
Right.
Canada.
Right. So the answer to the question you just asked me is the answer is the same answer as to why he put the tariffs in the first place. That would be the answer. If you can tell me why
I don't even know what those words mean. Does anybody else understand the grammatical structure of that sentence?
Now you're just trying to
what it's in
belittle me.
reference to? I'm just saying,
Right.
the
So
words
I'll
that
get
just
to-
came out of your mouth, I don't even understood what they mean. I
Right.
had no clue what you just said. I don't understand
Okay.
what it
I'll
related to.
simplify it
I
for
don't
you.
understand its greater meaning. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And quite frankly, I don't think you do either.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same question, and I'm going to get to a point, and then it'll make more sense for you. Why do you think, if in your opinion, if you were in Trump's head, I know you're not, why do you think he put the tariffs on in the first place?
Yeah, to build the American manufacturing sector while also pressuring Canada into annexation.
Okay, so everybody knows, and I know you hate Trump. I know you don't like him. He's got people around him that know how the economy works. He knows that if he puts a tariff on them, it's going to affect all three countries. It's going to affect
Yeah, he
everybody.
did. So he did. So he said that this will cause pain to American
Yes,
consumers. Yep.
and okay, so at least we know that we can't disagree on the fact, right? So he wants to implement a tariff just for the sake of having American businesses when it negatively affects us, is what you're
Exactly. Precisely.
Right?
That's why he's
Okay, so you-
that's why
okay.
he's very bad for the economy.
saying. Okay. So that right there, it came out of your mouth. I really hope you realize how ridiculous that sounds. Because let's just say, right?
Wait, whoa. I do understand how ridiculous that sounds. That's why I don't support Trump.
But-
Precisely. Exactly my fucking point. Wow. Now we're getting somewhere. Fucking facts, bro. Dead ass. And you understand that everything I just said came out of Trump's mouth. I said his plan to build the manufacturing sector in the America? Well, that comes from when Trump told the news reporter that he's doing this purely for economic reasons. Or what about the plan to annex Canada? That comes from like 3 days straight of posts on Truth fucking Social. Like, yeah, it is ridiculous. Round of applause for the guests, chat.
So that's why you voted on one side, because you think the most extreme scenario, right? And that's why people like me voted for Trump, and they don't think that. They don't think that he's a complete idiot. Look, I know he's an asshole. His
Because
character's
you don't
terrible.
believe what he says. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
because you do
anyway,
mental gymnastics. You
let's
just
get back
straight
to
up
the-
don't believe what he says. I know. Don't worry. I understand the contortion that it takes to support Trump. You just don't use critical thought. When Donald Trump says something, you either mindlessly believe it, such as you did with the outcome of the 2020 election, or the whole claim about Biden and Harris causing the border crisis or causing inflation. But when Donald Trump says something that is just utterly fucking absurd and like indefensible, you're just like, oh, I'm going to ignore that and call anybody that didn't ignore it crazy and absurd.
You know why he's saying that? I like, again, to the original point. He has leverage, and he's not going to tell the other countries what his plan is. We both know he has leverage because we're the greater economy. We
Why
have
would he
the
not
leverage
tell other countries what his plan is?
because he wants to get what he wants, and he's going to bully his way to it. Like I said earlier, I can't defend that he's a bully. I can't defend that. And that's why it's a work in progress. They have 30 days.
Let me
They have 30
speak.
days to
Let me
renegotiate.
speak. Let me speak real quick. So I just want to clarify. You think that he doesn't want to tell Canada what his plan is, so he could bully them into doing what he wants, compared to, I don't know, diplomatically negotiating it?
When I say bully, it's because he has the leverage, and he has the
But
capability
he
of
could
getting what
use
he
that
wants.
leverage to diplomatically negotiate what he wants.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Compared to using it to bully him. Like,
So-
for instance, I'll just
said-
give you an example, assuming that you're right.
I don't want to.
Let's just assume that everything that's coming out of your mouth is right. Instead of like signing an executive order into law for tariffs, lying about why he signed the executive order into law and tariffs, crashing U.S. stock markets, and causing a substantial amount of Canadians to boycott American products, he instead could have been, hey, Canada, up your border patrol, or we're going to sign the tariffs into law.
So you're saying Joe Biden did it diplomatically, right?
Well, that was a whole argument I gave earlier.
Well,
About
I know what
Mexico.
you're saying. I know what you're saying.
And
but
I don't understand how Joe Biden is related to this. Honestly, man,
You're
if
saying
you want to
that-
go off on a tangent about Joe Biden, I'm going to kick you and move on to the next guest.
No.
'Cause you haven't been able to stay on track with anything that I've been giving to you this whole time. I've been confused. The viewers have been confused. Either directly respond to what I just pointed out about Trump's inability to govern, or I'm just going to move on.
Okay. So you're saying he can't govern because he can't do it diplomatically, right? He has to use his.
So I'm saying that your explanation about Trump and his tariffs and why he said it was purely for economic reasons is complete and utter bullshit. Because if you assume what you believe to actually be true, all that means is that Donald Trump would rather crash the US stock market, hurt foreign relations, inflate the Canadian dollar, cause future markets in oil, gas, lumber, new construction, pharmaceuticals, etc., to all go to bullshit, instead of just diplomatically negotiating it with that same lever of leverage by saying if they don't do what he wants, then he'll sign the executive order of tariffs into effect.
Like you said, diplomatically, right? You're saying that's what he should have done, is
Yeah,
done
he
it diplomatically.
diplomatically negotiated it with a threat of tariffs.
Without the threat, you're saying, or with the
Yeah,
threat.
with the threat of signing tariffs into law if they don't do what he wants.
So that's what you're saying he should have done?
I'm saying it would have been better than what you're describing.
Well, isn't that what he did?
No, because he signed the tariffs into law and by your own word of mouth lied about why he was signing the tariffs into law and then used it to negotiate.
Oh, so you're saying it's a difference if he signed it into law and didn't. So if he didn't, they're just going to think.
Yes, there's a big difference
Yeah,
between
I know.
signing tariffs on Canada into law, saying that the reason he's signing those tariffs into law is for economic reasons, while just concealing his ultimate motive of wanting something from Canada, and comparing to telling Canada that he wants them to bump their border patrol, and if they don't in the next 30 days, then he will sign the tariffs into law.
Right. So how is that diplomatic if he's using a threat?
Diplomatic behaviors just has to do with the adjacent exchange of information to negotiate an ultimatum of one country doing something for another country.
Right. And you said to threaten to use tariffs.
Yeah, and that would have been a better plan than what you're describing.
Right. There you go. And did you catch that, Dean?
No, I'm confused.
So you're saying he should have threatened to use
No,
tariffs.
I'm not. No, once again, that's not what I'm saying he should have done. I'm saying that this is a plan that would be significantly better than the plan you're describing.
Okay. So what did he actually do? Because the plan I'm describing is what he did.
Bobby, what did he actually do? I told you 4 fucking times. We're just gonna skip him. Hi, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay, why did you vote for the worst presidential candidate of your life?
Well, I was old enough to vote for him the first time, and I was much happier under him the first go around than I was the previous administration.
Okay, so you're just happy under his first advent compared to Biden and Harris. So how did Biden and Harris make you less happy?
Well, so I didn't mean to, I guess, say happier. I said, I think I meant more like financially okay.
So how did Biden and Harris make you more financially strained?
Well, I think it's the lack of what they did. I don't think that they were completely terrible or that they spent like more money than every other administration, things like that. I just think it was the lack thereof.
Okay,
You know,
so
they
what
didn't
could they
do
have done?
enough.
What could they have done that they didn't do that made you financially strained?
A lot of different things. I mean, I just feel like, as a president, you have the ability to control the economy in many different ways, and the amount that they were spending in other places that weren't affecting Americans here at home, it was kind of ridiculous.
How much did they spend in other places that didn't affect Americans here at home?
I mean, it was billions. I mean, Ukraine alone.
Okay, billions.
Ukraine
Sure.
alone.
Billions. So 1/32 of our military budget has gone to Ukraine over the course of the last 4 years, right?
Why
That's
is
because the
any
Budapest
going there?
Memorandum. One moment.
That's what I'm
Because of the
saying.
That's what I'm telling you. If you'd stop interrupting me, because the Budapest Memorandum signed in the 90s. So I have a question: how did the $96 billion that went to Ukraine make you more financially strained?
Well, like I said, I didn't get more financially strained in my life. I wasn't like extremely, I think after COVID, if anything, yes, we were all more financially strained, but it was the lack of the Biden administration, recovering the economy in the way that I expected another
Okay.
president.
Can you name another country in the G7 that recovered their economy from COVID better than Biden and Harris did? No, you
Well,
can't, because US recovered the best, okay? There is not a single country in the G7 that recovered from the inflation onset by the pandemic compared to Biden and Harris, and Biden and Harris did the best out of any world leadership to serve their constituents. They passed some of the most monumental legislation in modern US history, and they did phenomenal. Here's my hypothesis, right? The only reason you say that they didn't do enough is because the economy was still hurt. And if the economy was still hurt at any level, you would still be saying they didn't do enough, even though they did the best out of any other leadership in the G7. Am I right or wrong?
I mean, I could say that you do have a point about us recovering better than other economies than the G7, but I also think that they have their own spending problems and their own things that, other countries are ran different. So I can't really comment on them. I can comment on ours.
Spending problem. So Donald Trump's economic plan is only going to benefit those making over $395,000 per year when we'd also factor his proposed
Well, I mean
tariffs into
federal
effect.
spending problems.
When we'd also factor his proposed tariffs into effect. His proposed economic policies estimated to cost $8.5 trillion, which is almost twice as much as every single dollar that Joe Biden signed into law to be spent by our federal government over the last 4 years. And that's just one of Trump's policies. Not to mention that even if we just evaluate the last two terms respectively, Donald Trump spent $8.6 trillion, Biden and Harris spent $4.6 trillion, non-COVID related, Trump spent $4.8 trillion, and Biden and Harris only spent 2.2. If you want to talk about spending problems, according to the numbers, Biden and Harris are actually the most conservative, right, spenders that we've had in like modern American history.
Right. And that's where me and you differ is I think that there's a spending problem within our government, not within a side of a political party.
Now, I agree that there has always really existed a spending problem with the taxpayer's dollar. But the point is this problem is less present within Biden or Harris than it would be in Trump.
I mean, that could be your argument, and I understand that you support them and you support their policies and you have your reasoning behind that. But again, I think
Buddy,
that
that's
we
just
can
what the
both
number
argue.
says.
Well, and we're going to move on to, this term because that's what matters is this term.
Okay, I already hit on all three. One of Trump's proposed policies for this term that only benefits people that make over $400,000 per year costs twice as much than all of the debt-related spending signed into effect over the last 4 years by the last administration.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at, and I'm moving to the Department of Government Efficiency that we're going to be making cuts with. That's like, without a doubt, that's going to help federal money not get spent.
Okay, so how are they going to cut at a bare minimum $4 trillion to not spend as much money with one bill as Biden and Harris spent over the last 4 years?
They're going to have to make some serious cuts.
I know, but you got to tell me what they're going to cut. Because when
Well,
we're
we're
talking
already
about,
discussing
let me
things
speak.
in the U.S.
Let me speak. Like, because when we're talking about $4 trillion that they must cut to even out what Biden and Harris spent with just one bill, not all of their legislation, just one, that means like serious cuts in the military. That means like serious cuts in Medicare, Medicaid. Like so far, they've just been attacking very like small things like DEI or USAID or leaving the WHO, the Paris Climate Agreement, or like fucking like all this other bullshit. Like they have no announced plans that is going to cut $4 trillion just to break even with one bill.
Well, I'm glad that you admitted that those programs are bullshit and needed to go. But
when did I admit that? Dude, you fucking loser. I never admitted that. I straight up just said
bullshit. They don't significant. They're not significant.
I said that they're not significant insofar as how much our federal government is spending. Tell me where they're going to cut $4 trillion just to break even on one bill. Like, would you agree that the only way to cut $4 trillion is to seriously carve out the military, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, etc.?
I think if you cut from every other program aside from those ones that you guys consistently talk about, then you would probably get pretty close to that cut.
Okay, name them.
Making like food stamps. You could go. There's a lot of different routes that I know you guys would use your scare tactics and like get people all riled up and stuff like that. But there can be cuts from every other area aside from military, Medicare, and Social Security.
So I just want to clarify that you want Donald Trump to get rid of food stamps so we could pay for a bill that only benefits the top 3%. Also, not to mention that food stamps cost our federal government about $110 billion per year, which would only raise $1.1 trillion over 10 years, meaning that it would only account for 25% of the cutting in which would have to take place to break even for one of their policies.
Right. And I get how you feel about that, but I think that the food stamp program is highly taken advantage of.
Okay, well now you're attacking an entirely different issue. You're just saying fuck poor people because I hate them, it's taken advantage of, but you're not really answering my question
No, I
of
grew
what
up
they're
poor,
going to
so I'm
cut to
definitely
break
not
even.
saying
One
that.
moment of what they're going to cut to break even with another 10 years of the TCJA. Cuz okay, cut food stamps, you're 25% there. What else are they going to cut?
Okay, like I said, there's many other areas, like in the
Like what?
USAID, they're finding things like that are crazy that are being reported today. And I'm
Okay.
sure you're
Yeah.
going to say that none of them are
Okay,
true.
okay. USAID. Cut it all over the next 10 years. That's going to save them $400 billion. So now you're not 25% there. You're 1.5 trillion of the $4 trillion that must be cut to break even with their tax plan. So what else are they going to cut?
Like I said, Dean, I'm not in their position, but there are multiple areas that you can cut that have nothing to do with the areas that you guys like to scare people on.
Okay, got it. So in other words, you're just making a baseless assumption with no reason, right?
Just like you're saying that Canada wouldn't send us oil when you know that it's crude oil and they need us to refine it and that they buy it back from us.
So I've
They,
actually
they
never
would
said
never
that
cut us
Canada.
off.
So I've actually never said that Canada will not send us oil. I've said that Doug Ford has considered the possibility of Canada not sending
Yeah, your
America oil,
previous
which
guest, you
is a
said that they
substantial
could do
claim.
that because you said that how you asked him, you said, how much percentage of oil do we get from Canada?
Oh, I was talking about what was going to be tariff. That wasn't a baseless assumption. That was a fact.
Right. So if we tariff them, you're saying that Canada would not sell us the oil that they buy back from us refined?
No, they would sell us the oil, but we'd be paying 10% more for it, which was my claim. I said that the price of your
Okay, and
gas
then we would
on
just
imported
sell it
oil is going to
back to
go up
them for
by 30 to
10% more.
70%.
We would just sell it back to them refined for 10% more. That's how business works.
Wait, I'm really confused of what you're saying. We get crude oil from Canada.
We get crude oil and we do what with crude oil?
We then refine it and sell it in our gas
And
stations.
we sell it back to Canada, right?
Because we sell a lot of the refined oil in America to other countries, sure, some of that would be exported, but what would stay in America is the shit that you put in your car, meaning that you'd be paying more for it.
Right, but I'm discussing once it goes back to Canada, it would not be in their benefit to tax us or quote unquote put a tariff on us because we could
Oh,
just put a
oh, oh,
returned tariff
oh,
on
no,
them
no,
to
no,
make that
no,
money
no.
back.
The bump in the bump in the price that you're paying for oil, for gas, sorry, is not coming from a tariff that Canada's imposing on us. It's coming from the tariff that we're imposing on them. Also, could you spell tariff?
Can I spell tariff? Tariff?
Okay, there you go. I was just curious. So, anyways, yeah. So the reason gas would cost more in our country is because of the tariff that we'd be imposing on them.
Yeah, Dean, just because you vote a different way doesn't mean that you're like some dumb hick Republican.
I never called you a dumb hick Republican. I just
I know
was
how
curious
you
if you could
speak
spell
to
tariff.
people though, and you're like, can you spell?
Okay, so that's like interesting and all, but do you not have a refutation of what I just said?
I honestly missed it just because I thought I'd say that because I've noticed how your
Yeah.
character
So the
is with other
reason why
people.
gas would cost more in our country is because of the tariff that we'd be imposing on Canada, not a tariff that Canada would be imposing on us.
Right, but I'm saying that they would not be smart to do that because we would just sell them back higher priced refined oil that they need. They can't do shit with crude
I
oil.
don't know if you're not hearing me. They're not doing anything. It's we who are doing something.
And you're saying in response that they could, like you said, Doug Ford said or whatever, that he could shut us off. He could turn the tap off, right? I'm
Yeah.
saying that
I
they
find that
could
unlikely
not
as
do
well.
that because their own citizens would not have refined gas in the entire country.
Oh, yeah, we agree there. I find that unlikely as well. But my point was that the tariff that we impose on Canadian oil is going to increase the price of our own gas.
Okay, well, at least we can agree that it literally just won't happen. Like, I know that he says these things, but sometimes you guys go on your videos and you're like, we have breaking news. Doug Ford said he'll turn the tap off. And it's
Which
like,
is true.
dude,
Which
that's a
is
scare
true
tactic
breaking
and you know
news.
it.
Okay, I agree that it's unlikely that that outcome would occur. Now, how does this refute anything that I've said? I accuse you of making a baseless assumption, and then you accuse me of making a baseless assumption. What is a baseless assumption that I've made?
Well, I'm saying that the baseless assumption that you made was basically to the last guy that, we basically need Canada. If we were to do that 25% tariff, that they would somehow, charge us more, tariff our gas more, or shut off, giving us gas,
No,
as
you just
Doug Ford
misheard me.
said.
No. You just misheard me. So what I told the last guest is that if we tariff Canadian oil, we pay more for the gas at our pumps.
Right, but also us
So I didn't. So in
becoming.
other words, I didn't make a baseless assumption, correct?
Yeah, but what would happen if
So
we
yeah,
become-
okay, awesome. So then concede and say that no, Dean, you didn't make a baseless assumption.
I mean, in my opinion, it was a more not baseless, but like more of a like.
I didn't even mention Doug Ford to the last guest.
I knew who you were talking about.
Literally all that I said to the no, I wasn't talking about what Canada was going to do in retaliation to the U.S. at all. All that I said is that when we tariff Canadian oil, we pay more for Canadian oil.
Right.
Right, and that's not a baseless assumption. That's a fact of economics.
Right. I mean, it's a fact of economics that when things are tariffed, things go higher priced until there's a competition in the market that can challenge that, for sure.
So perfect. Admit that I didn't make a baseless assumption, and let's move on.
Okay. I mean,
Phenomenal. So anyways,
I just
going back
think
to
it's
your
more of a
baseless assumption.
scare. It's more of like a scare tactic for your viewers, though, and I want them to
What's the
understand
scare
that that's
tactic?
never.
Wait. What is this scare tactic that I told my viewers? I haven't fucking talked about Doug Ford once on this live. What the fuck are you saying?
It's not this live, Dean. I mean, go through your videos, how you guys start your videos. It's you guys feed off of this scare tactic thing.
Okay. So in other words, you're not actually here to debate me about why Trump is better than Kamala Harris because you know that's an indefensible view, and you'd rather just moan, whine, and complain about my videos like a baby. Is that what you want to talk? Because if you want to talk
not at
about the
all.
videos that I post, let's do it. But all that you're telling me is that you know that you cannot defend a Trump presidency.
Oh, I absolutely can defend it.
Okay,
Because
so then tell me why
again,
Donald Trump is a
if
better
we
candidate for the
become,
presidency compared to
if we
Kamala
are,
Harris.
Boo!
if we are,
Scare tactic. Boo! Boo!
What's up, Parker?
Boo! You better be scared now. Boo!
I must be doing all right. If Parker hops in,
He came up here to be a ghost and scare you, and you think that means that you're beating Dean in a debate? What is it with you, bro? Okay. Hey, I have a question. Would you ever support a candidate that says they're going to ethnically cleanse a country?
I need more detail. See, again, you're doing that whole thing before you hear details about what he's referring to, and I just need to understand kind of what the
Okay,
plan would be there. I would need to.
Let's just start here. Is ethnic cleansing always wrong?
Well, absolutely, but you're saying ethnic cleansing. He's talking about cleaning up an area.
Okay. So if ethnic cleansing is always wrong, would you ever support a candidate that wants to ethnically cleanse?
No, of course not. But that's not what you're making false assumptions.
What is ethnic cleansing?
That is literally unaliving. That is unaliving people, cleansing them. You can't just like move the ethnic cleansing. Isn't like giving them money and saying, "Hey, here, live in this really nice place while we clean this area up." That's not ethnic cleansing.
So in other words, you just don't even know what ethnic cleansing is. Go on Google, read the definition of ethnic cleansing, come back and apologize.
Okay, well, in the context that you're saying it,
No. I'm being dead serious. Go on Google, read the definition of ethnic cleansing, come back and admit you're wrong. Like I don't even need to do because this is just like a disagreement on dictionary definitions. And by the way, I thought that dictionary definitions were so important to you guys. Always saying, "Oh, a man is this and nothing but this," but all of a sudden, ethnic cleansing is so subjective, even though we've had the same definition for the last 350 years. No, so yes, the definition of ethnic cleansing isn't specified to the killing of people of a certain ethnicity. That would be
are you allowed to
genocide.
say that? I'm just curious.
Yes, I am. However, it also would pertain towards the displacement of where they live. So, yeah, when Donald Trump is like, we are going to forcibly remove all of the Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip, flatten it, do something with it, that is definitionally speaking ethnic cleansing. Don't debate me, debate the dictionary definition. If you have any qualms or disagreements with what Dean Withers is saying, go on pause, go to Google, type in ethnic cleansing definition, and have Google prove you wrong. Not me, as I would find that to be a significantly more credible source.
I mean, is it-
with a more difficult time refuting?
Is it one of those situations where there's like definition 1 and 2?
No. This is it's not one of those situations. This is just what ethnic cleansing is. It's textbook. It's plain. It's pure. It's simple. It's easy
Okay,
to
so-
understand. Nope.
I
Just
will. No,
I'm
I'll
being dead
concede to
serious.
that. I'll take your word of that. And what I think that I'm trying to clear up, I guess, for anybody that's listening, we're not discussing ethnic cleansing in the way that like Mustache Man did in the day. We're
Okay.
discussing,
So
removing
we're
people from an area.
so yeah, we are not discussing the ethnic cleansing of Jewish individuals from Germany, Poland, and France. We are rather discussing the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian individuals from the Gaza Strip. So you said that you think that ethnic cleansing is always wrong, and you never support a candidate who wants to ethnically cleanse. Does this mean that you would never support Trump?
No, because I didn't hear him say forcefully once. I think he said something along the lines of, I don't think they're going to want to be there. The place is a rubble. The place is a mess. We're going to talk to places like Egypt and Jordan and see if they would take some of these refugees. I think that they would want to go there, and we're going to rebuild. The place has always been a hot zone. It should become a nice civilization. It's literally always been a hot zone. And and I think anybody that knows anything about that area agrees that for like what 100 years it's literally been a terrorist hot zone.
Okay, so
What are we gonna do?
So what
We're
what
just
are you
gonna
saying?
leave it?
So okay, so yeah, you want to know, you want an evidence that he wants to forcibly remove them. You got it, my man. All that I want you to do is go on Google, type in Mississippi Free Press. Trump wants to forcibly remove Palestinians. Also, you could go to Reuters. Trump aids and defends his Gaza takeover and the proposal of forcibly removing
He was literally speaking to
Palestinians.
people on video, though. I'm going off of
Okay,
what he
so
said.
yeah,
If you have that, I
so
can see.
I am too. So wait, are you saying that he would just let people stay there?
I'm saying that his words were not forcefully like
So how's he gonna remove them?
he is going to give them an offer, like he said. He thinks that they're going to want to do that.
Okay, so he's going to give them an offer. He's not going to forcibly remove the Palestinians, and he's just going to let them stay on his
So what
land.
are you going to do whenever it actually
Wait.
comes?
I just want to clarify. You think that he's just going to let them stay on his land? You know, I say we just listen to it. How about that? Let's just pull it up. How about that?
What are we going to do? Or what are you going to say to your viewers whenever it comes out?
Let's just listen real quick. You know, I fucking hate MAGA. I hate you. I have hate in my heart for you. And the reason why I literally hate you is because of the spineless interactions and concessions that you will make to ethnic cleansing.
You are the reason I built this page, Dean, 2 weeks ago.
Now let's go ahead and play his clip. I hate people that like will so willingly defend ethnic cleansing. Also, okay, thanks for being a fan. And I'll stand 10 toes deep in that. And if you think I'm crazy, I think you're crazy.
We have major breaking news right now.
We're just gonna go and listen to the clip through Aaron's page.
The United States will, quote, own and take over the Gaza Strip and forcibly remove the Palestinians living there to other areas in Jordan or Egypt. This is the first time he has said that the United States will take over the Gaza Strip, which likely means military boots on the ground. Don't believe me? Watch this.
Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
So what he is saying is the United
Oh, perfect. Well, now we know
So
exactly
where
what
did
Trump
he say
says.
forcefully remove people in that entire clip? Besides the
Yeah,
news anchor that said it.
Good question. So the answer to your question is the fact that he wants to level the land and destroy all of the buildings. That'd be the forceful removal.
The buildings
of
that are
anybody
halfway
lives there.
falling over, Dean.
Yes, exactly. Where people live in these halfway destroyed buildings because of the ethnic cleansing and war crimes already being committed by the state of IDF. And then here we have Trump wanting to go in there and quote unquote finish the job. Indeed, now going back to what I said, I have a question. Do you live in a house?
Do I live in a house? Yes.
Yes. Okay. And if you had a general contractor go up to your front door, knock on it, and when you opened, they told you that they were going to destroy your house with a wrecking ball tomorrow and level the lot, would you be forced to move out of your house?
How did you know I was a general contractor?
I didn't know you're a general contractor. I said if a general contractor did this. So answer my question.
So the answer to your question would be that the law would require you to move at a certain point when your house is diminished in a certain area.
No. We're not even going to assume that laws
So
exist.
the answer is yes, I would have to.
So we're not even going to assume that laws exist, okay? Someone
But they
comes up
do.
to your front door, and in this hypothetical, they fucking don't. Someone comes up to your front door, says, we are going to level and destroy your house tomorrow. Would you be forced to move out of your house?
If my house was destroyed in a manner that it is not safe to live in, then I probably would leave if they showed me.
No, would you be forced to?
Nobody is saying forced. He is saying that he does
No.
not. believe-
Oh my God! Wow. So
He
I just want to
literally
make this clear.
said-
I want you to give me a yes or a no. If anything but a yes or a no, I'm gonna mute you and I'm gonna ask again. Somebody comes up to your front door. You answer the door. They say that in 24 hours, we will own the plot of land that your house exists on, and we will demolish your house, and we will level the plot. Would you be forced to move out of your house in the next 24 hours?
If I lived in Palestine, yes. If I lived in Gaza,
Thank you for the concession.
yes, I would. If I lived in Gaza and I had undetonated explosive bombs in the area, and the house was halfway falling apart, and you were finding bodies still under the
Sir,
rubble.
Sir, you did it. Thank you. You did it. You've now conceded that Donald Trump wants to ethnically cleanse Gaza.
That's not ethnic. That's not ethnically cleansing.
Yeah, you just agreed that it's a forceful removal of all the Palestinians that live on the
No,
Gaza Strip.
I did not just say that. You
You
just
did,
tried
okay.
to use a hypothetical, and I told you that your hypothetical, first of all, doesn't apply because laws do exist. And you asked me if I would do it, and I live in America, and if my house is halfway falling down, they actually remove you. Yes, that happens. Like a meth house, when it blows up, you have to move out of it.
Okay. All right. Well, he said the name of that drug, so we got to kick him. So that's like why I hate that guy specifically. And like I also hate anybody that thinks like him. Like if you think that you're not forcibly being removed from the Gaza Strip when you want to level, demolish, and destroy the Gaza Strip, you know, it's just dishonesty. It is dishonesty. And like, hey, I actually want to invite a handful of the people saying that he won in the comment section, like D and GUI. Like, I just want to ask you guys a question. I already invited a couple people. Now everybody's gonna start re-spamming it because they want to be able to get up here too. No, I already invited like 2 people. But like that's just like that's crazy. That is crazy fucking work. Hey, you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay,
So
I'm
I
just
did-
looking to debate individuals that did. Clee, you said that last guest won, right?
Yes.
Yes. Question. So if I came up to your door and I said that I'm gonna own your land in 24 hours and I'm gonna demolish and destroy and level your house, would you be forced to evict yourself from your house?
Repeat that.
If I came up to your house and I knocked on your door and I said in 24 hours I'm gonna own the land that your house is on, and I'm gonna demolish it, destroy it, and level it, are you gonna be forced to move out of your house?
Correct.
Oh, so the last guest lost because we were having a debate on if Donald Trump wanted to forcefully remove the Palestinians on the Gaza Strip. He said no, I said yes, and that's the reason why I said yes. So seemingly you'd agree with me over the last guest. So how did the last guest won if you agree with me over him?
I agree with that point, but
Well, that was the
he's-
point that was being debated. That was the only point that was being debated. That was what the entire debate was about. If Donald Trump was committing ethnic cleansing, me and him both agreed that it would only be ethnic cleansing if the individuals were forcefully removed, right? Because that is how ethnic cleansing is definitionally defined, right? And that was my reason why it was the forceful removal of the Palestinians on the land, right? Because Trump wants to do to the Gaza Strip what I just described in that hypothetical I would do to your house.
correct. You're correct on that point.
Oh, so we lost. Got it. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Well, man, shit, now that you said I was correct that Donald Trump wants to ethnically cleanse Palestine, would you ever support a candidate that wants to ethnically cleanse anywhere?
It depends.
Can you? It depends. So sometimes ethnic cleansing is okay. Already off to a bad start. Can you name one thing that Kamala Harris was going to do, not only to Americans but to the world, that is worse than ethnic cleansing?
Not secure our borders.
Okay, so not passing legislation to secure the southern border is worse than ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing, though, the way you were saying it, or he was saying it for the safety of the people that live there.
Yeah, you know, in the American South during the time of Emancipation era slavery, people would argue that slavery should be legal for the safety and the livelihoods of the enslaved people. I mean, it's just disgusting rhetoric.
I don't agree with that. Yeah,
That these rights violations are justified for the benefits of the individuals whose rights you were violating, right? But I just want to clarify here. You genuinely do think that not imposing a long-term solution for the southern border is worse than ethnic cleansing?
I don't know, honestly, on that one.
You don't know? I'd say not. But
I
I
mean-
mean, let's just assume that it is. It seems like Trump is really bad because Trump doesn't have a long-term solution for the southern border that he wants to influence to get passed through Congress.
I mean, I think it'll come with time.
So you
Things take
agree that he
time.
doesn't have one, right?
As of right now, it's just get those that are dangerous.
So
Yeah.
like right now, Donald Trump is Satan 2.0 because he wants to ethnically cleanse and he wants to do something worse than ethnic cleansing, that being he doesn't have a long-term solution for the southern border.
I don't know if I agree with that.
So why did you vote for Satan 2.0 over Kamala Harris?
I don't think Kamala would have put America first in some of the things that needs to be done.
How is Trump putting America first?
I mean, he's security to the border
Yeah, we just agreed he has no border policy for the long term. You can't
for the
say
long
that.
term, but I think that'll come with time.
So you're just making a baseless assumption. Wait, if you could just baselessly assume that will come with time under Trump, couldn't I just baselessly assume that will come with time under Harris?
I mean, you could, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so then all of a sudden there's no distinction between the long-term border solutions of Trump and Harris. So why do you vote for Trump over Harris?
Because I think that he actually had an idea to start with, while Harris didn't have any idea towards the border.
So not only did Kamala Harris have an idea towards the border, but she actually already tried to get it done last term, and Trump prevented her. The bipartisan border bill, right, served to disincentivize undocumented migration into our country by significantly reducing the amount of time that it takes to come in legally. Right, and that's a plan that would have some long-term success at the southern border. So actually, she had more policy for the southern border.
That bill, though, also had other things trying to be passed with it, so that is why it got torpedoed.
Okay, so if that bill got torpedoed because of the funding for other countries, how come the funding for other countries still passed and they only revised out the border provisions?
I'm not for sure on that one.
Because you're not for sure on that one because it contradicts your claim. That's like saying that I have this picture of me and my ex, right? And I burned this picture of me and my ex. You assume the reason I burned this picture of me and my ex is because it had my ex in it. Well, that hypothesis would be disproven if I only burned everything but the picture of the ex, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so when you say, well, this bill was torpedoed because of the funding for other countries, but they torpedo everything but the funding for other countries, all that means is that they didn't torpedo it because of the funding for other countries.
That did not make any sense to me.
It was literally the same hypothetical. If anything, I'd say the hypothetical about the picture of the ex made less sense than what I just said about the bill.
Correct, I think, what you're saying.
So the hypothetical that was more reliant on abstract thought and less commonsensical made perfect sense to you. But then, the description on why they didn't torpedo the bill because of the funding for other countries, given that they still passed the funding for other countries, made no sense at all.
It was just the way you worded it, Dean.
Okay, well, overwhelmingly, I think the point still stands. Do you understand what I was trying to communicate, or do you need me to reword it in another way?
Oh, no, you're good. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so seemingly they didn't torpedo that bill because of the funding for other countries. Why did Trump torpedo it?
That is a good question.
Am I safe in assuming it's because he didn't want the Democrats to win?
I mean, yes and no. He probably wanted to run on a problem but he also wants to fix the problem, I think, too, at the same time.
How could he say he wants to fix the problem when we both agreed 10 minutes ago that he has no fix for the problem?
I mean, he's already deporting people as of right now that have committed crimes.
I don't think that like undocumented migrants that have not committed violent crimes being in our country is a problem. I think the problem is the neglect to the legal processes of migration coming into our country. The mass deportation of all 20 million undocumented migrants, in my mind, is a bad thing.
Do you think criminals that aren't violent? So you're saying that criminals that aren't violent should be able to come in?
Yeah, I'm saying that they shouldn't be deported and should rather be offered a pathway to residency or citizenship. A, because of how bad our legal processes of migration are right now. B, because they actually benefit you, they benefit me, they benefit the country, they provide into the economy, they're productive providers. C, because they're here to work for themselves and to provide a higher quality of life for them and their loved ones. And D, I just don't think it's okay, morally or ethically speaking, to strip a working mother or father away from their family and send them back over the border, stripping them of their livelihood just because they're trying to provide for themselves and their loved ones.
So what crimes do you think should prevent them from being in our country, if you don't believe all
yeah,
crime?
any violent crimes.
So you think like stealing or just like smaller crimes like that, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm fine with that not being a reason for deportation. Like, I don't mind if they face like the criminal justice system, pay a fine or get a ticket or something, spend a night in jail, but I don't think that warrants deportation.
I mean, I agree to a certain point. I just think they did commit a crime to begin with because they broke our border laws, even though they do need to do a better job of allowing illegals to come in, become legal.
Yeah, so you have an issue with criminals roaming free on the streets, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then why do you support Trump when he willfully and intentionally allowed for violent criminals that beat up cops driving stun guns into their necks roaming free on the streets with his January 6 pardons?
They were punished. They were in jail.
Yeah, but they didn't serve the entirety of their term, which means that they didn't serve their time.
I mean, that's just like saying that if you have a legal that did that, you would say that's fine as long as...
No, wait, no, wait. No, what you just said was wrong. If an undocumented migrant did any of the things in which individuals did and were pardoned by Trump for, they would deserve to be deported.
I mean, I agree and disagree. I think there's certain crimes that you definitely should be deported for, and then some they do need to be punished. Maybe not to that extent.
So I actually don't believe that you care at all, because if you don't care about the violent offenders that drove stun guns into the necks of cops that are now roaming free in the streets, let out of jail by Trump with intention, why should I believe that you care about undocumented migrants?
I mean, I do care. I think those that were violent during the January 6th incidents should have been pardoned.
Okay, so would you ever support somebody that willfully and intentionally let violent offenders who beat up cops wanted on child rape-related charges roam free in the streets? Because that's something Donald Trump did.
There's not sufficient evidence on that.
There was enough evidence to convict them in a criminal court and put them in jail, bro. What are you talking about?
I might have misheard what you said.
Like what? Like what? What the fuck? Like they were in jail because there's enough evidence to convict them in a criminal court.
Are you talking about illegals, or are you talking about January 6th?
First of all, I don't think it's okay to call undocumented migrants "quote unquote" illegals. I'm talking about the individuals that were convicted of violent felonies on January 6th. Are you sentient? Okay, he left.